Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist, 1, 2. And all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of you, only crossing bigger and better. If you watched anything that I've posted, I state that the God of Allah of all, for everlasting peace I am, right, is only stated one way, good as truth, only adding up one more positive than a negative always, okay? And that is the only good God and truth of all reality check you will ever know. And it's absolutely to be Christ-like, and it's absolutely the thieving Holy Spirit out of God of all I am. When you cross one more positive than a negative always, well, that's the good truth of God of you, Christ-like. And that is the bonding, thieving Holy Spirit of all negativity to one neutral nothing I absolutely positively am. See, the state of one more positive than a negative always, right, is the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth. One applied to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now, more positive than the negative of you. Alright? It's the bad way of nothing, it's the evil way of nothing, and it's the sinful way of nothing. It's the neutral nothing. All else is the faith of you. The blind, undefined, static, twisted, scattered out your mind foolishness of you, okay? That states things cross evil, bad, and sinful at any time, and just has no mind to bring all those things that are absolutely negative back one more positive to keep themselves good as truth, faithfully unevolved to the absolute bigger, better here and now reality check of it. And that's why since the beginning of Adam and Eve, all have suffered out, eventually decayed, disintegrated, and died to one neutral nothing, just a negative of them here and now. The only way you can die out to one neutral nothing. See, if you only cross one more positive than a negative always, right, you can't suffer disintegration and decay, right, to the end of you, because in reality check, you're always bringing yourself back good, adding up as truth. Christ-like with the thieving Holy Spirit out of God, the good God and truth of all reality check I am. To cross one more positive, right, than a negative is not only the good God and truth of all reality check, but it's the absolute bigger, better of the here and now matter of your shape, form, and mass. Meaning, if it's good, right, as truth, right, it can only be the absolute bigger, better of you here and now applied to reality check. God, again, is the good of all I am. Okay, as truth, okay? You can only add up, stay, or be good with God as truth, one more positive than a negative always, right? Only adding up until that negativity subtracts to one neutral nothing. Repeat as needed. If you do, you can never suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die that rightful triple way. If you don't go splat, right? And you have a mind for it, right? You can always bring yourself to a more positive, enlightened state out, bigger and better from the mind through the body to the world than the negative way. And if you do, you will always be that way, good as truth, one to the absolute bigger, better here and now of you. You know, like I spoke in my last video about entropy, you know, everything that isn't applied one more positive than a negative always is suffering the effects of entropy. But that entropy for all creation of existence, right, is not a negative of mankind. No. It's the more positive value of us. See, because if you're not more positive and good as truth of your matter, it can't keep existing in a more positive universe than a negative one, okay? Now, I say that God is the good of all, right? And as truth, you can only connect with God one more positive than a negative always. Now, I state that every time you cross negative with negativity, that is the incarnate out devil of you, okay? And it's the only way, by choice, you could suffer out of existence with decay, disintegrate, or die, right? To one neutral nothing of you. Because no faith, even at its most positive value, right, is good as truth, because all state that things cross bad, evil, and sinful. And all is a he shafted lie on all mankind. Of atoms crossing and bonding, creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check. And like I said in my last video, we're at the top of the food chain. There is nothing out there greater than mankind. All of creation of existence articulates to the absolute bigger, better, good God and truth of us here and now. And like I said in the interview part of the video, right? Negative decay and disintegration only states what is not good as truth, more positive than it. But if you state more positive than the negative, you absorb that as the fertilizer of your life, good as truth, to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now. With all you see, hear, taste, touch, smell, say, and do. All you branch out to, okay? With the buildings, trees, you, me, everybody, of everything. It's the substance, durability, and solidness. It's the density, the volume, and the value of all things creation of existence, okay? To only cross one more positive than a negative always is the good matter as truth of all creation of existence of the God of all for everlasting peace I am that never dies a negative. The only way you can to one neutral nothing of you here and now, I am absolutely positively have not a faithful doubt a bigger, better man than a negative one every way. Jesus said it best again. Love your neighbor like you love yourself, man. Protect those like the pupil of your eye. Listen to me. All the energy and all the toxic way that we put into the faith of this world, it's a disease, and all faith is a lie. And through this disease on us, wherever negativity stayed in us, right, to the reality of being blind fools, the bad way of it, the sinful way of it, the evil way of it, whatever we're not shaking is absolutely destroying us to one neutral nothing, just the negative of the here and now of us, more positive and good. Always, listen to me, you can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die of that. Look, if we're bonding out more positive than anything negative, and that's the only good truth of us, right? In reality check, that can only be the bigger and better of us every time we cross. Only teach it to your kids from birth. Only live it always to the here and now of your reality check. Think about it. It's the only natural way you were created to be. All else is just a faithful lie from the mind through the body to the world. It's the disease, the rot, and decay of every way, man. And let me tell you something. Like I said in other videos, at one time the earth was a true sister reflection of the energy of the Son of God, the good God and truth of the thieving Holy Spirit out, the more positive man than the negative one I am at every point in time and space. You hear me? And it was he shafted, man. And that's why there was pyramids all around the earth. Listen to me. The earth was Tesla energy, and it was geysered up from the core, okay? And they used this, man, to manipulate energy to create a paradise of the earth, you see? The men of old. But what happened is we were he shafted, a negative way of faith, female to the more male positive, Adam and evolved, the good God and truth of all I am, and that's what happened. Earth was he shafted, Adam came to himself. He was the God, the King, the man up of all I am, right? The good God and truth of Jesus Christ of all I am. And he couldn't get his bearings on reality, because if he would have crossed Eve back one more positive always, only adding her up good as truth every way, that's all Cain and Abel would have been, that's all we'd all be. And it's the absolute bigger, better, good God and truth of all mankind of reality check. And like I've spoken in other videos, with the wave field collapse and multiverses, man. Look, we are made of atoms, and these atoms are more male than female, meaning they can never be destroyed. Now, there are female atoms, right, that are negatively deficient to the good truth of their embodiment, and they can be split, and that's where fission and fusion comes from. But for the sake of this conversation, your body is made of indestructible atoms crossing and bonding. And Jesus said, where two or more come together in my name, I am there. Where two or more atoms cross and bond, they make the good truth of every shape, form, and mass you can think of, Christ-like, one more positive than a negative of them here and now. The good God and truth of every shape, form, and mass you can think of, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of God you can think of. If that God isn't one more positive than a negative always, the good God and truth of them are nothing. You hear me? The absolute bigger and better is just the negative of a God here and now to reality check. You hear me? And that's what we've been he shafted to, because in reality check, right? Like I said, Adam had no bearings on who he was. All he knew is he was an Adamite man, good as truth, never created, never to be destroyed, never to die. You hear me? And the good God and truth of Jesus Christ of all I am came to Adam, but he did not know how to digest the more positive value than the negative of it, because he lost the words to express the good God and truth of him. From civilization prior to him waking up in the garden being destroyed. And because of that, we've lived in a he shafted, perpetual negative state, killing us out always to one neutral nothing. Listen to me, man. We're not animals, Animals understand basic words, yes, no, good boy, bad boy, right? But they will never understand when you feel anything negative, right? To only go do something more positive. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now. That your body is made of indestructible atoms, and anywhere creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check. They are bonded more positive than negative. Your holy shape, form, mass is stated good as truth and cannot be destroyed. It can only cross to an absolute bigger, better here and now of you alive and well in a more positive universe than a negative. And that is a fact of God check. The absolute neutral nothing check. God, truth, a reality check. From the fool, thief, man, God, king, Adam, man, first evolved, the triple mill. All I am, peace.